What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nolan Built channel. Today we're going to be building a custom white oak dining room table with a custom metal base. To start the process, we're going to joint two edges of our lumber to get two sides flat. Then we're going to run through the planer to get the other side parallel to the first side. Once we go through the planer, then we will head over to the table saw to finish up the final edge. Once all of our lumber is milled, we can lay out where we want to install dominoes. Basically just doing this with a straight edge, marking each spot where I want to put a domino at, and making sure that I don't put a domino in the outside edge parameter where the circle will be cut. Although dominoes are not needed to make a glue up on a tabletop, I like using them because they make the sanding process a lot easier because of the alignment that it provides when gluing up the tabletop. I had to pull out the big boys on this one because this glue up is pretty wide in order to get this 45-inch circle that we will be cutting into the table later on. Right now I am placing all the boards, getting my alignment just right, and getting it set up for the actual glue up. One thing that I have recently acquired is this glue roller. This thing is amazing, so I'm going to leave a link down below so you can get yourself one, but this thing will speed up your glue ups by 10x. This thing just makes it really easy and gets even glue spread without you having to use a brush or anything extra while you're doing it. Let me show you. This glue spreader basically just pour the glue on the top and then basically roll it on each one of your pieces. But you can find this guy on Amazon. I believe they retail for about in between $30 to $40 for a small one like this. They have larger ones that cost more if you're doing a lot bigger glue up surfaces. And the great thing about this roller is that after you're done, you can just pour your glue back in the bottle and then basically take any of the excess that is left in after you pour it back into the bottle and just rinse it out with a garden hose. Just make sure that it's nice and clean before you go sit it down somewhere. I wouldn't want to try to clean off the glue after it dried up. I think it would be pretty much done after that. Alright, so now that this glue up is pretty much coming to an end, after the glue up, we are going to move on to working on the base. And the base for this table is actually not going to be wood. It's going to be a metal base. And I am going to make that myself. As you will see, I recently picked up a Everlast TIG welding machine and the fein slugger metal cutting saw, which allows me to do metal work fairly easily, and I think that this is a great addition to the shop because I now do not have to outsource this for any of my projects, and I can save my customers a little bit of money by doing it myself. So in order to get my layout, I used a big piece of cardboard that I had that normally comes with my sheet good supplies, and I laid out where I wanted to do and got my angles and my cuts, and then made sure that everything was lined up so that it would be even straight across the top and the bottom. And then I went to work with tacking everything up first, getting it all tacked up so that I can reduce the amount of movement later on. And then once I have it all tacked up and I have everything set to where I want it to be, then I can start welding the entire base up. But I still have to take it slowly because when you're welding, the more heat you put on one spot at any amount of time can start pulling the metal one way or another, and you don't want to pull any joints. Now, I personally do not have the proper welding table and supports to allow me to be able to weld everything without it moving, but I hope to one day get one of those strong hand tool tables with all the holes in it, but those things are really expensive. So for right now, this will do. I have to weld slow and take my time. As you see here, I am grinding out all my welds, blending in all the metal so that it can be a nice smooth paint job later on. Before this base is finished, I went ahead and tacked on some plates that will allow me to secure the table top to the table base And I only tack welded those just so that I can prevent the plates from warping. Now we're moving on to painting. I am painting this with a Fuji Semi Pro-2 and I am using red oxide primer, and then I'm using black paint to finish it in. And this is going to give it a nice silky smooth finish. I hope to one day be able to get to where I can start powder coating these, which will be an even more durable finish than what I'm putting on right now. So this is a great process for a start, but later on I would love to get to where I could powder coat this. All right, that finish is looking good. The Fuji did a great job. The paint was great. I was able to get through this entire thing without any runs, and I basically kept my little temporary paint booth heated so that this thing could dry nicely without those runs. But all in all, it turned out good. Now we're moving on to the CNC to do a custom engraving for this table on the bottom of it, and it's going to be for the Mitchells, if you haven't already noticed. And now I am routing out the U channel for this tabletop to prevent any movement or twisting and warping over time, since this is a circle table and it won't have any like breadboards to keep it straight over time. These channels will keep it straight. And the CNC is also cutting the circle out for me. This is a 45-inch circle, and it's just a nice, really nice ability to be able to do this whole process in one file on the Phantom CNC. And as you can see, this is the U channel that I was talking about. It's very easy to install. You don't need any threaded inserts. You can just pre-drill your holes and screw them down, and they're good to go. And it allows plenty of wood movement because the holes on it are slotted. Now what you see I am doing is putting threaded inserts in for the actual table base to be mounted down. Now on my table base, I drilled holes in the bottom of those plates to be oversized to still allow for wood movement. So I have a 1/2-inch hole with a 1/4-inch bolt going through to secure it down, and I will use fender washers so that the 1/4-inch bolt doesn't go through the hole that I have set on the bottom of the table base. And this is how easy and simple it is to install this U channel. It's really nice. I think I'm going to continue to use these in the future. One, because it has a bit for it for my CNC, and two, it is really easy to install and I don't have to drill or cut any of my own holes or slots in it. Now this is the bottom of the table. I am pouring epoxy where there was some cracks on the bottom of the table. It weren't cracks, it's just a piece of wood that I particularly used. It was not flat all the way across, but I didn't want to try to mill all of that out because I wanted to keep the thickness of the table. So I filled those spots with epoxy, and now we're on to the finishing process of sanding and putting roundovers on the tabletop. And now we're going to water pop it so that we can raise the grain and start the process of applying Rubio to the tabletop. That is the preferred choice of finish that I used on this table, and I really like it. One, because I love the smell. Two, because it's really easy to apply. I can just rub it on and wipe it off, and I particularly like wiping it off with my Ryobi 10 or 11-inch buffer, and it really just gets it in all of the nooks and crannies, all the crevices. And then after this, I will go and wipe it off with a rag to make sure there's not any excess left on the table. But it leaves a beautiful finish. And now the tabletop is almost done, and we are coming to a finish. I'll just be attaching it to the base and then setting it up for delivery in the customer's home, where I think it is a perfect fit for the customer. So I'm just getting a little bit of B-roll action here, and I think it looks great. Just to show you guys what this table has turned out to be. It is a white oak 45-inch round with a custom metal double X base table. And I did leave out that I put leveling feet on the bottom of this table. That is just to ensure that there's not going to be any rocking no matter what type of floor that it lands on. So I can adjust it and make sure that this is going to be a sturdy quality table just for the Mitchells. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this build. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think. And until the next time, thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.